How is everyone doing today? It is August 28th of 2023 and really excited. Got another tomato ready to go to show you guys. We've done a video on this one before. It's one that we've grown, I believe, one or two other times. Perhaps one. It's one that we really like. It's also another one that comes from the Dwarf Tomato Project. And this one is called the Tasmanian chocolate. So I'm not sure where the name comes from, the reference on the name. Which ones it is a cross between, but it is an established variety from the Dwarf Tomato Project and one we have really liked for making sauces and salsas in the past. These ones right here on the plant have gone a little bit farther than we usually like our tomatoes. Angel likes them a little bit overripe, but maybe not quite to this level of overripe, where I maybe like them a little bit underdone and firm. But this is one that, like I was saying, has really got a rich flavor to it and is good for salsas and good for sauces and things like that. So having this a little bit overripe is just gives it a more of a saucy kind of juicy flavor to it and stuff. But we got a couple here ready. I'm going to go ahead and pull these off right now. Well, that one's really soft. Yeah, we're going to need a clipper real quick. Let me grab a clipper for you guys. For you guys, it's for me. Yeah, this is the Taz chocolate. Oh, this one's really overdone. We might have to actually throw this one out or just snag seeds on it. This is one of the varieties I don't mind if it's a little bit overdone, but maybe not quite that much. Yeah. We left that one on there. It's been on there a couple weeks ready to go. Look how red this one is. It's supposed to be considered a chocolate tomato, so maybe the other one will show you the color a little bit better.
That one's better.
And I'm probably going to leave this one right here on the plant for just a second. And we'll go ahead and take these two inside. That one's probably going to end up in the trash, or we might end up seeding it. I really don't like the shape on it. When you are saving tomato seeds, it's always best to save from the best plant. And very little comes from saving from also the best tomato on that plant. I do believe it has a little bit of a help, but it's nothing compared to making sure that the plant's stable and well. So whenever you're saving seeds, you want to save from the best plant and then possibly the best tomato after that. But having this one right here, I believe if I was to save the seeds off of that and save the seeds off of this, there'd be little to no variation, being that they both came from the same plant. So it's actually, the structure will be in the plant. But this is the Taz chocolate. It is August 28th of 2023. I can see this gross one's dripping on Angie's hand, so I will go ahead and we'll take you inside and show it to you guys. Love you guys. Catch you in a second. How is everyone doing? This is one ugly tomato. I'm going to go ahead and set this one aside right here, and we're just going to show you this one right here. It is a little bit of a more brownish or terracotta kind of looking color to it. That's why they call it chocolate. This tomato right here, I'm going to go ahead and try it for you guys once again. Let me cut it open for you. This one's been on the vine. It's really soft already. When we talk about tomatoes, and everything that I say is just personal belief, it doesn't have anything to do with any rationality. I would advise that you research what I say. Don't automatically believe what I say. We don't make videos to tutor anybody or to give you any relevant information. It's more of just to kind of inspire you to grow something and to also see a small look into our personal opinion of something in a moment. My opinion about this whole thing could change tomorrow. It can change 10 minutes after this. I can watch the video before I upload it. It could change again. What I like is when I talk about the darker tomatoes, the black, purple, and brown or chocolate tomatoes, when I talk about those tomatoes, there's three different kinds that majorly have taste variations that I feel like vary from each other. For instance, there's the Black Beauty, and that would be considered like, say, for instance, a black tomato. There's the Cherokee Purple, which is a purple tomato. Carbon, which I would consider a purple tomato. The Black Crema I would consider a purple tomato. This one right here falls more in line in the ones that I consider chocolate tomatoes, but they also have the term black or purple a lot of times in them. But I would say that they have three different variations. This one right here is more of a ready-made sauce sort of flavor. The only tomatoes I could really compare it to wouldn't even be in the Dwarf Tomato project. Maybe the Rosella Purple, but the Rosella Purple is like way better flavored than this one. Um, Not to say that this isn't a great flavored tomato, but I would say out of all the tomatoes, that this one is most flavored like, it would be the Japanese black trifle. That's one that I feel like really has that kind of saucy flavor, and it's called the black trifle, but I would call it more of a chocolate or brown tomato or a saucing tomato. There's also the Black Prince is a lot like this. There's also the Paul Robeson is a lot like this one right here. Those are tomatoes that really have a rich flavor to them and are almost like ready-made sauce. As you can see, even though this one is very ripe, it doesn't have a lot of meat and stuff to it, and that's fine for this type of tomato for us. I wouldn't advise. The meat is usually like this even when it's a little bit underdone, but I wouldn't advise necessarily as this one as being for one that would be something you'd want to dice up for a tomato sandwich. And if you were to make a salsa with it, it would make a really wet salsa, for example. But when it comes to the flavor on it, yeah, it's almost like this one, I believe, because of the weird rains that we've had, is a little milder than I remember this one being. But I think it has to do with almost being like water overload in this. We went through about 2 weeks of every day having these like really heavy rains, flash flood level rains, and then we've had the past couple days where all the tomatoes are trying to ripen really quick and split on us. And so I feel like this one might just be like water injected from all that weather, but it still does have a pretty good flavor to it. It almost has a ready-made sauce flavor to it. And this is the Tasmanian chocolate from the Dwarf Tomato Project.
I can't even pick it up.
How did you feel about it? To me, it felt like it was a little bit
It does
milder
feel like
than I remember.
it does taste milder than previously, and I do also believe that it's from all the extra water and rain that we've been getting too, because it does taste waterier, like almost watered down a little bit. But it does still have that good aftertaste, good flavor. It's like a rich flavor. It's not super pungent. It is mild, but this could be due to our weather, all the rains that we've been getting. I do remember it being a little richer in flavor the last time we grew it and produced it. But it's still an overall good tomato. I would recommend trying it if you haven't.
Yep, so it's the Dwarf Tasmanian chocolate. We really, really like this tomato. We've grown it once or twice before. It's the reason that we put it out in the yard again this year. We wanted to try to lean a little bit more. The Rosella Purple isn't doing well for us, and I would say that that's probably the most potent flavor of this type. It was in the Rosella Purple, as far as the saucing flavor. But this one right here, if you were looking for one that was like an heirloom indeterminate, you're looking for probably the Black Prince, the Japanese Black Trifle, or the Paul Robeson tomato. All three of those tomatoes have a really, really similar feel to this one and flavor to this one. It's almost like it has the rich traditional tomato flavor, but it's almost like also like it has ready-made sauce. Like you've already added some herbs to the sauce that you made.
Or like
so
salt, yeah.
yeah, like maybe a little bit of salt and herbs and things like that mixed in. So it's almost like this is almost like tomato soup flavored. So we don't mind that these ones end up a little bit juicier a lot of times. You know, the meat in it isn't too bad. This one's really, really over. You can tell how juicy it is. But it's the Dwarf Tasmanian chocolate. We got these ones via Victory Seeds. If anybody's interested, I'll try to remember to provide a link to Victory Seeds, Dwarf Tomatoes seeds that they sell on the description box. But we're really, really excited to get this tomato in the yard. Like I was saying, we took this one off. This one's a good one. We'll probably save seeds from this one right here. Not quite sure about this one, but I don't think that it would really matter much because it came from a good plant. So I think the variation's a little bit different on the seed saves. But a really, really good tomato. Kind of wish that our tomato season, and pepper season, is doing really, really poor this year. So we usually get a lot more of everything that we're producing. I hate to show some of these plants and some of these grows that we're doing, especially this year, because I always feel like whenever I show somebody anything, even if it's doing well, you could always do better. This is one plant in one bucket in one tiny yard in a small town with a small family, low resources. You know, like you legitimately could take one seed, grow one tomato, and probably do a better job of this just by not overcrowding it like our yard is, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I would definitely recommend giving it a try if you've not tried it before. It's good flavored and worth it.
Yeah, especially if you like a really deep, rich flavored tomato. These ones right here really have that. So I'll take you outside for one last look at the plant, and we'll catch you guys in a second. All right, so in this bucket right here, we have the Dwarf Rosella Purple. This bucket right here is the Dwarf Purple Heart, and this one right here is the Taz Chocolate. And as you can see, all of them come up to here. So with the bucket included, it stands about as tall as me. So with the plant by itself, it's only about 4 or 5 foot tall, which is very typical of the dwarf tomato. So maybe you haven't grown them before, but if you have grown the dwarf tomatoes before, it's really got a typical 4 or 5 foot stabilized plant. When they sell these dwarf tomato project seeds, the idea is for people that have low amounts of space to be able to grow some really, really good types. All their varieties, though, are considered established seeds or open pollinated, which means that even though they haven't been around for 40 or 50 years and had a amount of cultural relevance to be considered an heirloom, every time we save these seeds, including the seeds from this one right here, from all three of these, they come from our own saves. When you save the seeds, you grow them out again, you're going to get the same type. Whereas in a lot of hybrids that haven't been established or considered put into the open pollination phase means that you could get all sorts of variations. Like if I was to cross these two right here, the first set that come out would be the F1 generation, which stands for filial or firstborn. And then the next one is the F2, F3. F2 has the most variation. These ones, from what I assume, they've grown out 5 to 8 times, so that you definitely have an established seed. So when you order seeds for the Dwarf Tomato Project plants, you know that you can grow those seeds out, save those seeds, and keep those seeds in your collection, share them with friends. You actually have an established variety, even if it's not considered an heirloom, which to me is a big priority in our yard. We love to save seeds. We love to collect all the different varieties. All of our plants almost this year, especially the tomatoes, but most of our plants come from our own seeds. That's why we have such a strong desire to save for ourselves. But like I was saying, you could probably do better with this plant. It's like a 7-gallon pot right here. We do have a cage on it. There is a stake that comes up that it kind of attaches to as it grows over here. But they only get about 4 or 5 foot tall for the medium and large style tomatoes that come from the Dwarf Tomato Project. And this is an excellent, excellent flavored tomato. I really, really like this one. I believe it was one of Angie's choices to hit the yard, but I'm super happy to see it here because it has almost a ready sauce tomato flavor. It's an excellent type, maybe not for slicing, maybe not for salsa unless you like your salsas wet. I mean, Angel, I don't think she minds hers a little bit wetter as a salsa, where I like mine a little bit dry, more like chunked veggies or something like that. Then maybe even you would consider it a salsa. But excellent plant, grows great like all the dwarf tomato varieties ones we've grown, and pretty productive too. I know it doesn't seem like that with our plant specifically, but it usually is one of the more productive. And considering we've had a rough tomato year so far, it's actually done really, really well. We got a tomato here, tomato here, tomato here, here. There's 2 more in there. You probably can't see them. There's one, you can see it way back in there, and one behind it. Another couple right down here. So there's still probably 8 to 10 tomatoes on here right now. And by getting those off, we'll get these other ones ripening and growing a little bit quicker. But the Dwarf Tasmanian Chocolate, it is August 28th of 2023, UT Angel and Kiddo. Excellent type. We don't make videos to tutor anybody or to really act like professionals at all. We do it because we have fun. We want to show these to friends and family. I know that I have my some of my kids watch my videos sometimes. My parents watch my videos, Angels as well. We have a lot of great friends on YouTube that we've become honorary family with over these years and stuff, and really excited to show this one to everybody. So we love you guys. If you're looking for one that's similar in flavor to the Black Trifil, the Paul Robeson, or the Black Prince, this one's a lot like those ones to me, on a dwarf plant that you can grow in a small amount of space. So love you guys. Really excited to get some seeds saved on this one, and to, I don't know if we'll be making sauce off this one unless we can get more of these going all at once, because that would be a kind of a pitiful amount of sauce off that one tomato. But we will be saving seeds from it, dicing it up, maybe just eating it raw like that, or something along those lines. Love this variety. Really happy it made it into the yard this year, and it's showing up for us in abundance again. So love you guys. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for
Yes, save all the seeds. All the seeds.